Hey everybody, it's Mike here. Welcome to the channel. Well, if you are a frequent viewer, then you know that I posted a video a little while back where I asked people to send in their portfolios for online review, right? And boy, did you send in portfolios. I received quite a few. Now, what I decided to do is for the upcoming weeks, I typically do 2 videos a week. One of them will be a portfolio review, okay? And the one we're going to be looking at today is the portfolio of Jasmin Singer, right? Jasmin is a recently graduated woman from Stuttgart, Germany. And she completed the HDM, and my German isn't that great, but HDM stands for Hochschule der Medien. And they also have a university in Munich, and I'm well aware of them because I met a whole bunch of students from HDM in the past. Okay, so that's where Jasmine studied. And before we dive into her portfolio, let's talk a little bit about portfolios in general. Okay, now, whenever you create a portfolio and put it online, you do that for a reason. And that's not always the same reason. Somebody might put up a portfolio because they want a place to put their art, right? Somebody else may say, well, I specifically want to get hired, that kind of thing. Now, for the majority of people, it's a combination. I want to get hired, I want to find freelance work, and so on. So you are having people that you probably don't know looking at your portfolio. And what I want to give you is a structured approach in setting up your portfolio, so you don't have any gaps in it. If you know what I mean, okay? Now, that structured approach, I will walk you through it as we go through Jasmine's portfolio. But before we do so, keep in mind that there's one thing to remember, and that is that people hate looking for answers. Now, what I mean by that is that, especially nowadays, people want instant answers on any question they might have. You go to Google, you Google something, and there you go, right? If a potential employer has to dig through your portfolio to find answers to simple questions, then that will very likely have your portfolio end up at the bottom of the pile. And that's what you don't want, right? So, hence the structured approach. Now, we're on ArtStation right now. There's a home section and there's a resume section. We're at the resume part right now. And that brings me to the first question when it comes to portfolios, and that is the who question. So, who are you? Now, why who are you? Well, because a studio is hiring a person, not your art, right? You potentially will become a team member. You need to be able to function in a team, right? So they need to understand where you're coming from, right? What is your motivation? How did you get to the position you are right now? And basically what you want, right? So the who question is very important. Now, Jasmine put a summary down here. Obviously, their contact details, which is great. And in the summary, it says, "Hey there, I recently completed my studies in audiovisual media with focus on visual effects and CGI. Particularly interested in look dev, lighting, and compositing." That's pretty important. So I immediately know what type of work she is looking for, assuming that she is looking for work, because I can't see that here just yet, right? But we'll see. All right, we're going to scrub down and see what else we got. Skills: digital painting, rendering, 3D modeling, texturing. Um, what I find interesting is that she's very interested in lighting and compositing, and under skills, they're not listed. Okay, just saying. Software proficiency: Maya, Nuke, Substance Painter, Unreal. Good. There's a reel down here, and we'll look at it in a minute. But let's talk first about the who question and whether this is sufficient or not. Now, I would say it's quite brief. It can be a little bit more extensive in the sense that people would want to know what motivated you to get into the industry to begin with. Is there some kind of anecdotal story you want to share? Oh, the first time I saw Toy Story 1, right? I thought, well, this is really what I want to do. I was X years old. I was always drawing, and, make it a personal story. because that resonates more with people that are looking for artists, right? Again, they're hiring a person, not your art. And preferably a person that is creative but is also versatile, as in being able to adapt to what's going on in a group, in a team, and that kind of thing, right? So make it a personal story that is relevant to the portfolio, all right? Okay, now there's a demo reel down here. Let's have a quick look. All right, great job. Well, what I like about the demo reel is, let's say I'm a potential employer and I'm in a hurry, right? I got a whole bunch of portfolios to go through. I know that in the home section where we go to the breakdown of the individual projects, there will probably be different stages of each project to get a better understanding of the workflow. They were included in the demo reel, right? So I already have a pretty good sense of how things were put together, which is good. The demo reel isn't too long and it's relevant. So, 2 thumbs up for that. Good job. Now, we addressed the who, right? So, who are you? Now, before we get into the actual art, we're going to go to the next step, and that's going to be the why. Why did you post an online portfolio, right? And again, it is because you want to share your art with friends, because you want to get hired as an artist through a company, because you're a freelance artist and you're looking for work. I can't find that information in the resume, right? And even more specifically, are there any companies where you would want to work, or a specific industry that you want to work? There's so much work out there for 3D artists if you know where to look for it, right? Maybe the automotive industry, maybe technical industry, industrial industry. It can be entertainment, it can be movies, it can be games. If you are really passionate about, let's say, working in the automotive industry and you've been dreaming about it for years, and I own a game studio, then I'm probably thinking, well, I might hire her, but a year from now, if she gets the opportunity, she's going to leave, right? So again, be specific about why you put your portfolio online and what the goal is, right? Okay, brings me to the next one. So what do you want to achieve, right? I mean, you put it online because you want to get hired, but you want to get hired as what? And you want to get hired where? Now, the next one is when. When are you available? Now, right now, it says you recently finished your studies, right? Are you doing any additional studies right now? Are you already working somewhere right now? It's not listed, so I assume not, but it could be, right? And you also said that you recently completed your studies, so technically you're not a student anymore, right? Just saying. Because with the listing of CGI VFX student at HCM, I might think as an employer, I can't hire you because you're not done with your studies yet. And if you're actually graduated, you might want to change that title, all right? So that ties into the when. When are you available? Now, where do you want to work? We talked about that. And the final one is how. How did you create your art? And that's where we look at the actual art, okay? So just to summarize before we dive in, who are you? Personal motivation, where you're coming from, and so on. Why did you put your portfolio online? Well, because you want to get hired for work. What do you want to achieve by posting this portfolio, right? You want to be hired as an employee, you want to get contract work. When are you available? Very important. Where do you want to work? Do you have a preference? Automotive industry, technical industry, entertainment industry, and how did you create your art? Now for that, we're going to go to the homepage, and here we see almost all scenes that we saw in the demo reel, I think. So let's see if there's additional information here. Well, that's kind of the idea. So let's click on the first one. And here we have, let's look at the breakdown first. A very, very nice breakdown. We got lighting test here, which is good. Yeah, kind of a mood board, part of a project. Let's see, last semester me and 7 other students were working on a small third-party game called Acorn. All right, so this is a collaboration, which is good because it demonstrates that you have the ability to work in a team and get towards a final product, if you will, right? Let's see, as players progress through the game, the environment changes from a darker, more bluish forest to a progressively lighter tone at the game's end. So that's where lighting and color grading, if you want to call it that, is part of the storytelling narrative, which is great because that's an area that she's specifically interested in, right? So good job. Right, let's take another one. We got this creature. Again, a good summary of what's going on. Let's see the breakdown. Again, very, very good. So inspirations here, moods, and kind of elements that are incorporated. So crocodiles, alligators, I assume, and so on. Some great sketching going on, concept art. And I know she does a lot of 2D work as well, so that's good. Turntable renderings, and then the final image. And let's see, part of the university course, concept art and look development for visual effects, and again with a good breakdown. Nice. Okay, let's go back. Still live here. Let's look at that. Very interesting from a lighting perspective. That caught my eye when I was looking at the demo. I particularly like this. I think it's a job well done. And again, kind of the consistency of the same setup, right? So a mood board, lighting mood as the basis for the approach, and then the whole breakdown. Excellent. Let's see what else. And I'll not go through all of them. I'll go to the most relevant ones, right? Okay, let's have a look at this guy right here. Okay, again for a class 3D virtual environments last summer, the task was to take a picture outside and use it as inspiration for the composition for our rendering. Okay, now let's go down here first. Reference to the composition. Okay. Ducky duck, yep. Yeah, pretty good. And then this looks very good. Great lighting, great mood set, and yeah, the entire execution is very good. So I would say from a portfolio standpoint, the majority of this portfolio is spot on. There are a few tiny things I would tweak, right? A little bit more personal information, maybe change the student mention because technically you're not a student anymore, right? And kind of be more specific about what you want to achieve with your portfolio. Other than that, 2 thumbs up. Great execution of the portfolio, right? Okay, that concludes the first review. If you still want your portfolio to be reviewed online, then drop an email to mh-tutorials@hotmail.com, and I will definitely consider doing so, right, if time allows. Okay, so Jasmin, thank you very much for sending it in. I really enjoyed going through your portfolio, and that's it, guys. Thanks for checking out the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.